Greetings everyone, this is Char and welcome to the JustAskChar advice channel. If you have an email for advice, you can send it to JustAskChar@gmail.com. Today I have a letter from a young lady and she writes, Dear Char, I met a guy online a few months ago and we really hit it off. I'm 30 years old and he's 34. I was going through a divorce and he was separated from his wife. After a few weeks of seeing each other, he started saying that he was falling for me and I was the perfect woman for him. We would talk or text almost every day, but there were several times that I wouldn't hear from him for a few weeks. Then one day, out of the blue, he said that he couldn't do this anymore. He owed it to himself and to his wife to try to make things work out. They were only married for 6 months when we met, and he told me that she wasn't the person that he thought she was and that she was pretty crazy. 5 days later, he called and said that he made a mistake and that he wanted me back. I agreed, but it is not the same. He actually went 2 weeks with no contact once. Then one day I received a text from him saying, Hey you, how have you been? When we've talked, he did admit that he was sleeping with someone else those few weeks I didn't hear from him. But he said it meant nothing, like that's supposed to make it hurt less. We ended up spending the night together, and I haven't heard much from him in 2 days since then. What's going on, and what should I do? Thank you so much for your letter. I want to start off by saying that when a person is going through a divorce or separated, they are still married. I'll say it again for the people in the back row. If you are going through a divorce or just separated, you are still married. If you keep that in mind, it will eliminate a lot of things that you've described. Clearly, you have accepted what he gives you, and his behavior will continue if you're asking me if it will get better as time goes on. And that will be a no. Just to answer you directly, you have to reach a decision on what you will accept and what you will not accept. This is always a guide for a relationship, because a person would do only what you allow them to do. When you are dating someone, it is not your responsibility to sort out what they are doing. Sometimes I get letters from women asking if they should stay or wait for things to get better, without just saying no, because a person is going to decide for themselves what they're going to do. The most I would say is what I would do, and that would be to remove myself from that situation that isn't completely free of all red tape. A corporation is not going to hire you, put you on their payroll when you're in high school waiting for you to get your high school diploma and some work experience. They hire a person that has the requirements and skills needed for the position. They are either qualified today or they're not. I had a situation once where I was dating a guy and I found out he was married, and that's because his wife ended up calling me. I stopped seeing the guy. There was no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I didn't need any explanations. The guy straight up lied, and that was that. He was married. He wasn't single. There was no explanation needed from me. I didn't want to hear anything. And yes, he did try to explain. but I was gone too fast, like a person out of a burning building.
I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
Now, you mentioned that you met this guy online a few months ago. Now, you said you were also going through a divorce. Now, I would ask, why did you decide to go looking for a new situation to get in when you had not even closed your last situation? I understand that you may want to go on and move to the next person, the next relationship or new relationship, but you have to finish that relationship first before you start a next one. It gets complicated, it gets messy, and just think, even this guy that was telling you that he was separated and ended up going back with his wife and all of these things, look how messy that had become. I would suggest that you become divorced first, have that settled, and after that's settled, then start dating. And I understand that dating has become also an online thing, but try to find people within your circle, face to face. That way you can read body language. You have a better idea and feel of what's going on. I'm not saying it's 100% going to work, but in my opinion, it's a lot better than some keystrokes on a keyboard meeting someone. And I do wish you the best. Thank you everyone for tuning back in to JustAskChar. And again, if you have a letter for advice, you can send it to JustAskChar@gmail.com. And who knows, your letter may be the next letter that I read. And until the next letter, peace.